Lunch and Learn series. I find this kind of fitting because this is lunchtime and we're talking about Scanco and the food and beverage industry. So we're excited. We've do these once a month. Last month was about our manufacturing light that we just launched. We're always trying to come up with something new and exciting, whether it's something unique in the industry or something that we hear a lot about from our customer base, or something new that we're going to be rolling out. So we're always on the hunt for new and exciting ideas to talk about within our software. So we're always open to your ideas. But be on the lookout for some new and exciting things coming out from our software base coming down the road, like our just relaunch of our manufacturing light that we did recently. So the key to warehouse and shipping efficiency for the food and beverage industry. That sounds pretty exciting, huh? So, let me go ahead and pull the big screen here so we can get things zoomed in here. All right, there we go. Okay, so why did we choose food and beverage? We're going to talk a little bit about why we kind of are honing on this specific topic as opposed to many other industries out there. Food and beverage is probably one of the biggest. We're going to roll through some of the features that we have within our system that really enhance that. Some of those features are GS1, catch weight, lot and expiration date tracking. So we're going to go roll through all that. We're going to talk about how easy it is to implement these things and grow them out. And then we will get into a demo of the system on the back end. The main demonstrable part of this is going to be on the catch weight side. So we're all going to be rolling through that. For those of you not in the know about Scanco, we've been doing this quite some time, well over 30 years now. And we really embed ourselves and within the Sage 100 environment. We also have 300 or 500 and Intact rolling out as well. But the major piece of this is all in the 100 base. So, you're familiar with our warehouse automation pieces, which is with the multi-bin or on the scanning. We also have our manufacturing automation, and then we have a whole host of mobile products as well out in the field for sales applications as well. So we kind of cover the whole host of things. But today we're going to specifically target into the food and beverage. So why did we choose that? Well, more so than ever, consumers are, especially with COVID, we found that a lot of people were, restaurants were closed. What do? You go get food and you bring it home. You go to the grocery store, come home, you cook it, you eat. Food delivery services were on the uptick, especially like the green chefs and all those ready prepared meals at home. And people got to spend more time with family and cook and eat and enjoy themselves. Well, but also on the same flip side, our food and beverage customers to Scanco also saw their business grow by 2 to 3 times the size. And some of these businesses, we have one business in particular has been in business over 100 years, and they saw their single best quarter last year. So in 100 years, best quarter, that's something. So the more food and the more things you're putting out in the field or out in the world, you want to be able to have repeat customers. And the best way to have a repeat customer, especially in the food and beverage industry, is not make them sick or not make them allergic to something. So it really comes down to traceability. And the food and beverage industry relies wholly on consumers' faith that the food and beverage they're going to be eating and drinking is going to be safe for them. In talking to a lot of our customers over the years, we find it quite ironic that they have this wonderful ERP system, Sage, and everything they're doing for lot expiration date tracking or when something came in or FIFO basis, all being kept track on spreadsheets, nothing within Sage. So, we really wanted to kind of talk about how easy it is to use some of the enhancements that we have to do that without making it burdensome and to try to get away from those spreadsheets. Spreadsheets, that is everyone's crutch in this industry. I love spreadsheets myself, but if we can keep everything in one general system, it makes it easier for oversight, especially. And so, like I said, lot traceability in Sage is a lot easier than Excel because it's right there. And it's one of the best ways to meet those expectations that your customers have of you. So what are some of the features that we have? Well, GS1 barcodes, which we'll dump into here in a little bit. It's a standardized barcode that's been around since the late 70s. And it falls within so many different industries: pharmaceuticals, food, beverage, medical. But in this case, we're going to be discussing mainly on our add-on that we have for the food industry. Catch weight's big. We're going to be rolling into what catch weight is. Then we're going to be discussing lot and serial traceability as a standard form, and then bringing in our multi-bin software, how that can be further enhanced with the lot and serial traceability. So why GS1? Well, we are the barcode people, right? We love barcode automation. We've been doing this for a long time. GS1 has been one of those things that we brought on board as an add-on to our product several years ago. Originally started in the medical, then it rolled into food as a need. So anybody in those worlds have that access from Scanco. So why GS1 though? Well, GS1 is a unique way for organizations, no matter what industry they're in, across the board. It stands for government standard barcode or general standards. It gives them the ability to have it's like a UPC code, but then it further enhanced to have a general unique product identification for the product, but it gives a standardized way for everyone to exchange that data. So no matter what ERP system you guys are using or what scanning system or what traceability you have one standard barcode that fits across the board. I do have an example of here. There are several different types of GS1s. The standard one is the code 128 in this industry. And you can see that it's one long string of barcode, what we call a compound barcode. But you'll notice in parentheses, there's a 1, a 13, and a 10. And each one of these, we actually support, I think, up to like 13 different ones, because some of these have aliases for your vendors. So your part number might be different than your vendors. And so all this is tied in. So the one denotes the GTIN, or the standard unique product identifier, in this case, the item code. And then if you are tracking packaging dates or lots in this case, which we're talking about, you'll have the date broken down in the next one, which is year, month, day. And then you'll also have the lot number tied to it. So if this is true lot expiration tracking, you have this. So not only is it great because it dumps right into the fields and stage that they belong, and it's standardized, so it's really easy. You don't have to go create your own new barcodes. I mean, the GTIN world, the GS1 world, you pay an annual annual subscription, I believe, to this world to have these barcodes available to you. And so your vendors will use the same thing that you do, and then your customers, you have the same thing. So it makes it very simplistic. Again, that goes back to that exchange of data, making it very simplistic, again, no matter what ERP system you're using. And then if, Lord willing, there's a recall that has to happen, this gives you opportunity to be much more proactive instead of reactive, because you can trace right through it and find it. And then at the end of the day, what we get, what we're trying to get at the end of the day is consumer confidence. So I want to make sure how easy it is. And because our scanning system breaks this down automatically, there's not multiple scans. So if I scan this barcode once in item inquiry or during receiving or shipping, it's going to autofill in all those prompts. It'll autofill in the ID, the lot, expiration tracking, whatever we're needing to collect, it'll do that. Anything that's not needed, so if there's other things within that barcode, we just skip over those and ignore them if they're not needing to be read in the prompts. So again, if you're not doing an expiration date, but you're tracking a lot number, it will just read the 1 and then the number 10 here, data. So again, very simplistic, very easy to use. There's not a whole lot to it, and that's why our customers love it. So again, one scan, one and done. So that's the history of kind of GS1. We do have a whole knowledge base article. Love to talk to you about it afterwards if there's interest there of that, and how that works within the system today. If there's interest that you say, hey, we're starting to bring on GS1 barcodes, Ross, how do we do this? Contact me and we'll go ahead and get you squared up. So what is catch weight? Well, this is one of the, our unique products I really love. So, in the world of catch weight, so there's variable weight or kind of quote catch weight or standard weight of products, right? So if you're selling beans or mayonnaise or soda pop or whatever, 12-ounce can is always going to weigh the same thing. Or 32-ounce can or jar of mayonnaise or ketchup or whatever it might be is always going to have the same weight. So, when it comes to being a wholesaler, distributor, manufacturer, that's pretty cut and dry, right? There's not a whole lot to it. But if you're trying to get in the world of catch weight where there's variable weight and your sale price is calculated on that weight. So if your customer calls up and goes, hey, I need X amount of chicken wings, and they don't get billed by the case, they get billed by the weight. Well, each weight of each box of chicken wings, even though it's the same chicken wing or drumsticks or whatever it might be, is going to be the same product. There is variable weight. We have a lot of customers that are in the meat smoking business. They will ham hocks and ribs and all that good stuff. Well, when the ribs start off in their initial form or ham hocks start off in the initial form, by the time they're done, the weight has changed tremendously after the smoking process or boiling process or whatever they go through. So there's going to be that variable weight. So even each case is going to have its own unique weight. So how does this work? Well, it does work with and without multi-bin installed. Obviously, having multi-bin lets you have a little bit more finite detail. It lets you have up to 200 cases assigned to a single item. So you can have as many 200 cases assigned to one item for catch weight distribution. We go up to 4 decimal places. So if you're trying to track in the most finite ounces possible, we do track up to that. So it gives you even more accuracy on the weight distribution side. The catch weight fields we've added into several different printing reports, AR invoice history, / inquiry, and invoice history printing report. And they're directly integrated into our warehouse piece as well. So if you do have our scanning piece and you're needing catch weight, we do have that built into not only into the system itself on the item maintenance side, which we'll get into, but it does do it within the handheld as well. So that's catch weight on the whole. It's a great product, especially if you're trying to be more accurate. A lot of our customers go to bigger box stores and they get billed by the actual weight of the product, not the cases. So it makes everything easy on the order entering process. And if you even go a step further and barcode the weights once they come off that manufacturing process, it makes scanning everything so much easier and getting stuff out the door and even, more accurate. So, and we'll get to that demo here in a little bit. So lot and expiration tracking, why is this important? Why is it even more important to have it with inside of Sage? Well, recalls happen in the industry. There's no way around them for a variety of reasons, whether it's, foodborne pathogens or something, got in there, listeria or bacterial thing, or even that, you want to alert consumers that, maybe peanuts got mixed in with the cake mix. And if you have a nut allergy or a gluten allergy like my daughter, you want to be aware of these things. So those things accidentally do happen. Nothing's perfect in this world, but if we can get ahead of it, again, going back to being more proactive than reactive, that is a good thing. So, lot and expiration date tracking, it really gives you 5 main things. We'll go into the next step of how multi-bin enhances it further, but it gives you that fast, effective, accurate recalls, right? So anytime there's a recall, you think, oh no, there's bad news, but if you can get ahead of it and get it quicker, that still goes back to that instilling consumer confidence. So that, that way the faster you can be, the faster you can get ahead of it, the faster you can contain whatever you need to contain and get your customers happy again. Quality and safety. There's always that concern, especially now more than ever, about the visibility in the supply chain, but lot tracking assures that. It gets it, it helps improve quality of the product, helps improve quality of the distribution of it and manufacturing of it, and gives general safety to everyone, not only the manufacturers themselves, but the end user. It helps optimize inventory usage. So what do I mean by this? Well, this is a great way for giving product outbound on more of a FIFO related basis. You can sell your older lot first, and also improves visibility over the suppliers as well. The suppliers of the product not only have the lot tracking within their system, i.e. you guys, but your customers also have that lot tracking capability. And then also it goes back to them being compliant with whatever regulations that are out there within your particular industry. There are unique regulations within the food, within the beverage, within the medical industry specifically. So let me go back one. So where does multi-bin come into play? So for those that are familiar with Scanco, we have a multi-bin product that does that. It does multiple bins within your same Sage warehouse, but it does a lot more than that. It makes picking more efficient. It makes tracking of inventory, it makes counting more efficient, but also helps with when it comes to fulfillment of product, especially when it comes to lot serial tracking. So we have an addition, it's called Scanco's multi-bin expiration date vendor lot control traceability. And what it does is it tightly integrates your vendor lot to your own lot. So if you're manufacturing, you have your own lot coming off the line and your vendor came in with their product, and let's say there was a recall on theirs, you can tie their recall to the product you use to manufacture. So if you're a tortilla chip manufacturer, you obviously have your own lot for your tortillas, but obviously the cornmeal or whatever you brought in and the oil and the salt that you brought in from your vendors, they also have a lot number, and you can tie those two together and marry them. So there are vendor lot traceability reports you can run to really find those. So if your vendor has a recall, then you can immediately go find the product that was tied to yours, and you have to have a recall especially. Now you're ahead of the game instead of kind of finding out where that happened. So we see that a lot more on the manufacturing end than the distribution is that traceability. And it helps, eliminating shrinkage and helps keep your goods current. Not only does it do that, but it enhances enhances manufacturing, so you can tie everything together, and you can auto allocate raw materials for that based on a FIFO basis and report that back into the picking side when it comes to making the finished goods. You can designate vendor lot information during receipt of goods or any time during that process. You can even be during the manufacturing process as well. So you have a complete audit trail of everything. And those are all item codes, product lines, bills, work orders, now work tickets. So all that can kind of go back and forth. It provides immediate trace for the serial numbers as well from raw materials, like I said, and goes back to the issue to the finished goods. And one of the biggest pieces of this, and I cannot stress enough, is it helps directed picking. So not only does it prove accuracy for picking the right product, but also when you're putting it away in your warehouse and storing it. So if you want to jump to an overflow location that has an older product expiring first, you can do that. And then probably one of the biggest things we have is on the back end. Again, multi-bin is all settings based, but it lets you pick orders from preset rules designating shelf life arrangements. This is key with your customers. So for instance, Walmart might only accept things within a certain expiration date, right? Is that, up to 30 days, and that's all they'll take, or Target. Then you have those that have a little bit longer of a shelf life, and they want, something, they're good with something 60 to 90 days out. So like Dollar Tree or Dollar Generals or one of those, right? You'll see those where, you can actually preset the materials and the dates to the actual supplier that you're giving them, or your actual customer. So that it'll actually help first select the goods with first expired, first out basis as well. So that's what FIFO is, first expired, first out. So the ones that are first expiring can go to X, and the ones that are closer to expiring can go to Y. And that way, all your goods can be left out, and there's no waste there as well. So again, it's all settings based on the back end with our multi-bin software. So we're going to go ahead and discuss, before we get into the demo, I want to really, and we're getting very busy with this, is implementation and growth. We're here to help you guys. Obviously, again, going back to these past couple of years, most of our customer base has seen their businesses grow by 2 or 3 times. We haven't really seen any attrition. We've only seen major growth. So, please note that, there's always the best course of action is your Sage reseller for assistance, and then also us, because, our product, no one knows our product better than Scanco does. And we're here to help you bring that on, to leverage our team with growth and manage implementations, right? We are now fully traveling. So we'd love to come on site. We would love to visit you. We'd love to see your process and setup. So if you all have growth, if you have brought on, a whole bunch of new employees that need assistance out, bringing this product on, or you lost some of your key people and you need to replace them, we're here to help. We love coming on site. We love visiting our customers and seeing our product in use in real life. It's life changing, and it's really cool to watch too. So please let me know if there's interest there. We have that. We have a new LMS system, which we just launched as well. Just a reminder, it's all course driven. You can set new employees in front of it, go through courses, tests, videos, and it's all broken down into bite-sized chunks. And that goes across our warehouse manufacturing automation, our multi-bin, our operations management. So we have a whole team here to assist and help you guys get the most out of your product. I don't like to hear anything. My favorite thing is to hear people are using every bit of it, changing their life. I always hate to hear that I've had this for years and I'm only using receiving. Well, now we have a team that can help you use it for much more than that. So let's go ahead and get into the demo portion of it real quick. I really want to kind of highlight the catch weight and how that works in the back end. And then we'll talk about, and then I'll show you all the different reports you guys can run as well. So we were talking about catch weight, as I mentioned, and I already got a question already, multi-bin, non-multi-bin, it works with both. Again, having multi-bin only further enhances it. And we have this launched to answer your other question, thank you, is what version of Sage 21.2 and up is what we have catch weight for. And so let's go ahead and go into Sage. And standard Sage, nothing's changed here. We're going to go into item maintenance. I already have that window open here. So we'll go into item maintenance. And as you can see, my food product here is bacon, because everything's better with bacon. And so you'll notice that we didn't change any screens here. We didn't want to make it more difficult and make it more having to go be more advanced than really what it is. It's very simplistic. Catch weight, once enabled and installed in your system, you'll notice that each item has a little checkbox. It's either going to be a catch weight item or it's not going to be a catch weight item. If it is a catch weight item, then you can actually enhance your unit measures. So in this case, my standard and purchase unit measures are in pounds, because everything I buy is in pounds. Remember, If I'm making bacon or smoking bacon, it comes in one way, and it's going to actually be decreased in weight when I actually at the end of that process. So my standard across the board through everything is going to be pounds. Across the board for purchasing, it's going to be pounds. The main difference is on the sales side, because remember, I'm selling by the case. My customer's not going to call up and go, I want 56.2 pounds of bacon. No, I want 3 cases of bacon. So that makes it simpler for your order taking and your customer service as well. On the right-hand side, you'll notice that once you do have all your unit measure set, or your unit measure identifiers, then you'll go to the number of pounds. So 1 and then 10. So a case is going to be about 10 pounds, right? That's the average rolling weight that we have on that. So once you set that, we'll go into the sales order entry side. This is where you'll see the next phase. So we're going to go to sales order entry, and we already have a customer brought up, and we'll go to the lines tab. And you'll notice I will show you a catch weight item and a non-catch weight item. So let's go into a non-catch weight item, and you'll notice that I go to ordered quantity just like normal. You'll also see a new column here that says cases. Obviously, this is grayed out because this is not a non-catch weight item. Now, if we go ahead and enter bacon, it skips over the ordered quantity profit, grays that out, and immediately goes to the cases. So my customer calls up and goes, I want 2 cases of bacon. Personally, I don't think that's enough, but hey, to each their own. You'll notice that based on my unit measure setup, 2 cases is going to equal about 20 pounds. All right. Now, it's not going to be exactly 20 pounds. We'll get through what that looks like next. This is order 209. I'll write that down so I do not forget it. We'll hit accept. And again, it's just that simple. So again, customer service doesn't really have to go through a big understanding or learning curve with this. It's very simplistic. It's all set up on the back end. So once that order is processed, we're going to do one of 2 ways. We can go the handheld route, but for sake of time, we'll just go straight into Sage. So on the sales order side, we will go to invoicing data entry. Pull it up here, and we'll create our invoice state, and our sales order number was 209. Right here, perfect. And now we're going to go to the lines tab. Now you'll notice something different. Once I go up here, you'll notice this little box prompt. Now I am multi-bin, so I'm going to have to distribute this from a bin location here in a minute, but you'll notice this little box prompt. This is the other new thing for catch weight that is going to be different. Again, we wanted to keep the screens the same. All we added on was a few check boxes and a few icons to make things simplistic. So remember, my customer ordered 2 cases. All right, so I go to the little catch weight case box, cute little icon there, and you'll notice that case number 1 it automatically defaults to. So I'm going to enter in, let's say case 1 was 10.52 pounds. Okay, I hit OK, and then, so that's case 1. You'll notice cases ordered 2. So I hit the little pound sign, go to the next case. I'm at case 2, and this one was 11, or we'll go 12.25 pounds, and we hit OK, and we hit accept. All right, and you'll notice it says quantity exceeds quantity order. Do you want to accept? Yes, because remember, it goes over, and that's all right because we're billing by the weight. And so you don't worry about that. You simply hit yes, and it's okay. Now I am multi-bin, so I have to distribute this from my 1 bin location. We'll go ahead and choose the bin location that I'm distributing from, and we hit okay. And it's that simple. I won't bore you with going through the standard invoicing process, but at this point when the customer gets billed, they order 2 cases, which defaults to 20, but we know it's not going to be exact. They get billed by the weight. So this gives them exact weight that they build, and so the extension comes over here. So it's really going to be about 22.77 pounds they pay for. Unit price calculates out, and it makes it really simple. Again, we don't want to overcomplicate the process. And then from there, it's just going to go into the normal invoicing process. We'll roll through that real quick, and I'll show you what that looks like at the end. And we can go to a quick preview, and however I have my form set up, it'll print out like that, and here's my form. So here's the customer, you'll see bacon, the actual weight, and what's also unique too is you'll notice that it breaks down the weight for each case. This is important. So instead of saying, hey, I ordered 2 cases, and I see 22.77 pounds, what does that mean to me, the customer? Well, right down here, you'll notice it'll give you the weight of each individual box. And again, we have a labeling software, so during the manufacturing process, or whatever that might be, it's much easier to barcode the weight and add it to the box. Makes it really simple. I have a lot of customers that actually will use GS1s with a weight built in, so they just scan 1 barcode, it plugs everything in. Again, that's another way to go at it. All right, so we'll pop through some of the questions here. What kind of scanners do I have to have for reading GS1? So any of the standard Zebra scanners out there will read, anything with the new Zebra Android. There are a combination. As long as everyone out there is going to read 1D and 2D, the actual mobile scanners. So some GS1s can be two-dimensional or QR code, less real estate to make up, or some will be like that one I gave you, the GS1 128. So good question. So the shipping date entry ties the box level, yes. So if you're using the handhelds for shipping date entry, you'll be prompted for the box prompt. If you're using the scanners, it goes through shipping date entry, and it'll also create the same process. Awesome. Well, listen, I promise to get you out of here on time. I know there's some more questions. I really appreciate your time as always, but we'll go ahead and get you on your way. We'll be reaching out to you individually with any other questions you may have, but otherwise we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you next month. Bye-bye.